my producer. We have no sound. How's that? Is that a little better? Working on it. We're working on the audio here. Working on the audio. Hold on. 1 minute. Oh, I hear it now. What's up, Cody? We're working on it, guys. Can you hear me now? Okay, now we have sound. So, all right. What's up, Cody? Nathan? Mr. Tim Pie? Randy Lee? All right. Hey, Sal, buddy. What's up, man? Does everybody hear me loud and clear now? All right. Very cool. We're just going to hang out for a minute and allow everybody to join in and see how many people we can get on here before we start. I don't want to miss anyone. So, who's doing some racing? Anybody doing any racing? I know the COVID's really put a damper on stuff, but what's up, Ben? How you doing? All right, let me see if I can move this closer and see if we can get a little better sound here. How's that? Is sound better now? We're having some technical difficulties with the audio, but all right. Well, I think we got a bunch of people. I think 43 is enough to get started. So, welcome. I'm Colin Branch from Maclan Racing, and this is Maclan Talk episode 4. We're going to talk tonight about some DRK, Drag Race King, speed control, and motors. This is a line that we've just released over the last couple months, and we put in a lot of work, and it's really starting to show that the work was well done. So everything seems to be going well, and I've been getting some questions about different things like setup and that sort of thing, but you know, it's something new and something that people haven't seen before, so there's going to be a little learning curve. But once we all learn it, it's fairly simple, and it will become intuitive, and you'll get to know. You pretty much after a run, look at the data logs, and you'll be able to know what adjustments you need to make for each run. So, all right. Well, first things first, we want to announce that we have a new contingency plan for the King of the Streets race in Vegas on February 27th. It's for this race only, and if you want to make more money and win that race, we will pay you to win with our products. So if you are running our speed control, our motor, and our battery, we'll pay you $500 if you win. If you're running the speed control only, it'll be $200, and if you're running the motor only, it'll be $100. What you'll have to do is have our stickers visible on your car, and you'll have to submit pictures of the car, of the podium with you on it, and then your car with the body off showing the components inside the car. So another way to make more money by going to this race, and we're fully in support of the no prep scene, and this is one way that we can kind of give back a little bit to all those people that are putting in the work for this kind of stuff. So let's discuss some DRK features. So everybody's heard about the DRK products. We've been talking about it for a long while, and they're out there. We've released the motors just recently. I think it was probably a week ago or so. We've got them in stock. You can order them up. And the speed controls were probably 3 weeks to a month ago, I believe, we started getting our first batches in, and sales have been very, very good, and it's been hard to keep them in stock. But, um, you know, keep ordering them up, and you'll get on the list, and you'll get one when your name comes on the list. So, DRK features with the speed control. The main feature is the 3-stage launch control. So basically what that is you have your 3 stages in your speed control that you can adjust through your either the ProLink programmer, a Android device with the SmartLink app on it, and you can also adjust it through a PC with the Panel PC software. So the second feature is high definition data logging, which has been adjusted to be a tenth of a second. Every tenth of a second it takes a reading, and then when you go to pull it up in your SmartLink app, you'll be able to read every tenth of a second. That will really help you dial in your tuning for a run. Our runs are only 2 to 3 seconds, so having a high definition data logging is very important. So what else we got here? The new motors. New motors. Can you guys hear me? I need an update on the sound. Update on the sound, guys. Let me know. Sound update. What do we got? Can you hear me? I think they can. Okay, I think sounds good. The volume's low, but you can hear me, right? Oh, they can barely hear me. It's a little soft. Okay. They can hear me, but it's very low. Very low. My production crew may have been a little busy today and didn't get enough time setting this stuff up. So, okay, he's working on it. The production crew's working on the sound right now, so hopefully you can hear me. Let's go back and see if we have some questions before I continue going. What do we got here? All right, how's the sound now, guys? Is that better? Okay. Sounds good, I think. Loud and clear. All right. Yeah, I should have brought in my mic from my podcast equipment, but all right. Sound is much better. All right, let's get back to this. We're going to talk about DRK motors. These motors are based on our V2M modified motors. We've added a new design specifically for this motor, 13 millimeter ultra high torque rotor, designed specifically for the drag racing. And we've also changed out the screws in the motors for aluminum screws so that it's not affecting the phasing like a steel screw would. So that is the motors. Now let's talk about the profiles and how to set up these speed controls. I get a lot of questions about people wanting to know how do I set this up, or where do I start? Well, I've put in a lot of work building the preset profiles that are in the speed control, and those are the actual profiles that I run in my car. And my car runs 2.1, 2.2 seconds, and that will get you going. There's 6 different profiles in there that you can choose from. So you can find a good starting point, and then you can start adjusting from there. Um, so when dialing in your tune, find the profile that suits your car the best. I can't, I don't know what your car is set up like, and I don't know what your conditions that you're running in are like, but I can help you get one of these tunes set for your car. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to start on like a stage, you're going to start on the stage 1 of the tune. And what you're going to do is you're going to launch the car, and if it's not spinning the tires and it can handle that power, go up a little bit on the power until it can't handle that much power anymore, and then back it down just a little bit. And then you'll go on to stage 2 and do the same thing. And if it's breaking the tires loose and spinning out, turn the power down. If it's handling the power just fine, you'll be able to turn the power level up in stage 2. And then in stage 3, that's set at 100% throttle, you'll want to start adding your turbo timing at that point. It's something you'll actually need to get a feel for and get it. You're not going to want to just add the maximum amount of turbo in most cases. We've allowed the speed control to add a full 60 degrees, but I'm cautioning people to be smart about it and understand what their equipment is doing. And if you add too much and blow it up, that's on you. I mean, we could have limited it and made it so it's safe for everybody, but then some people wouldn't be able to get the maximum performance out of it. So we've allowed the maximum amount of timing, but you need to be smart enough to figure out how much your car, your motor, your setup can handle. That isn't something that I can help you with. So it's very easy to understand and to make adjustments. Reading data logs after every run is very, very important. You'll be able to see if the tires are spinning. You'll be able to tell how much voltage sag you have during a run, and that's something I'm going to get into in a minute, is the voltage sag. But everyone's conditions are different, so I can't answer the question, what's the best setup for me? I suggest starting with one of the presets and then adjusting from there, and understand you can add or take away power from each one of those presets. They're fully adjustable. They're just a starting point for people to get their cars going. One of the biggest problems I'm seeing is people overgearing their cars, running like a 25-75 gearing, 27-75. I mean, that's virtually gearing for a stock motor. So these 3.5, 4.5 motors are designed to rev. Let them rev instead of loading them down. All you're doing by overgearing it is creating excessive amp draw, excessive heat, and excessive voltage sag, all of which can damage equipment and leads to slower times. Your car won't be as fast. So gear them down. And my recommendations for starting points, and this is what I've run this summer for gearing, with my 3.5 is a 2084 on my TLR car. And then with the 4.5, I run a 2284. Those are good starting points. And you probably don't need to go very far away from that, maybe a tooth or two at the most. Those are good starting points. So what happens is when you load up your car and you've got it overgeared, you're putting so much load on that motor that it's fighting to turn. And when you gear it down, it's spinning much easier. So it's requiring a lot less amperage. It's not creating the heat. What that does is it also doesn't drag your battery down. Your voltage drops down. I don't like to see anything under 6.4 volts on my runs. Anything under 6.4 and you're losing speed, and you're also damaging your battery. Anything under 6.4. Over time, it will hurt your battery. So if you're not maintaining somewhere around 6.4 volts during a run, you are not as fast as you could be. And you're going to have to figure out why it's dropping down so low. Maybe batteries are old. This drag racing, when you start going this fast, is going to be hard on batteries. That's just the way it is. And that amount of amp draw is hard on batteries, and you're going to have to replace batteries fairly often. And you'll need a high quality battery, and I recommend using the biggest battery you can fit in your car and be a happy medium between the weight and the size of the battery. So I run a 6100 in most races. I've run up as high as a 8500 full-size stick pack, and I almost think my car was faster even with the extra weight because the voltage doesn't drop as much. So that's a little tip, something you'll want to keep in mind for when you're racing. Read your data logs, see what the voltage drops down to, and try to minimize that by changing your gearing. And these speed controls, kind of the way they launch, they don't sag quite as bad as like some of the other setups I've run. When I was running our regular modified speed control before I had the DRK this summer, I would see lower voltage, and it's just the way that it ramps up, gradually ramps up. It doesn't hit super hard, and it doesn't sag the battery quite as bad. But everyone's experience will be a little bit different depending on how you set them up and how your car is set up. So, with that said, let's take a look at some questions here. All right. Jeremy Joseph Olson, is Mr. Smith going to run a Maclan? Well, I can't answer that. That's not for me. Randy Lee, 3.5 versus 4.5. How big of a difference do you think it makes? That's a good question. Obviously, the 3.5 is going to be faster if you can put the power down and if you can manage the amp draw. 3.5 is going to have a much smaller tuning window, and if you step one way, one wrong step one way or the other, you could damage equipment. But if everything is set up perfectly, it will be faster than a 4.5 if you have enough grip to put it down. Will Maclan sponsor a drag team? Larry, well, we are currently in our open enrollment, if you want to call it that, for sponsorships. And I'm encouraging everybody to fill out the application. We'll post that in the comments here. We'll post a link to that. Don't send them to me. I'm going to redirect you to a link to fill out an application. So send them in. You never know. Michael Burgess, where is the data logs I am using the laptop? Okay. Um, at the moment, it's only in the Android device. We're working on upgrading the uh, panel PC software for your laptop so that you'll be able to read data logging. But for now, it's only in the Android. Um, that's what I use exclusively. It's great. $50 Kindle Fire, and it works great. I don't have to worry about taking my laptop to the track because that's really a pain. But um, for now, it's only on the software side of things, the app, I should say. So let's take a look here. Tim Smith's laughing at me. Why am I not surprised? um, okay. Jake, how sensitive is the DRK? I've noticed the other hot ESC has special instructions like don't do this or don't do that. Well, Jake, there isn't a single bulletproof speed control on the market. If you do something wrong while drawing this amount of amperage, you will blow up a speed control. I don't care what brand it is. So, yeah, we've got some special instructions, and I'm trying to spell some of that out today, kind of like the gearing suggestions, that kind of thing. You can blow up speed controls. You can blow up any speed control by not doing things properly and not knowing what you're doing when you're drawing this amount of amperage. So, yes, we've got some special instructions. They are in the box when you buy it, and you should read it, and you will probably have a much more enjoyable experience while using the speed control. But if you use it properly, it works very, very well. Jeremy Joseph Olson. Oliver, I'm going to stop answering questions about the iPhone. Just kidding. We're working on it. We're working very hard on an app for the iPhone, and it's had its delays, and this goes for Kenneth as well. We are hoping for end of December-ish, hopefully. We've had some delays recently, so that's kind of slowed us down, but it's coming. Don't don't worry. We haven't stopped working on it. It's coming. So, where else are we? Who else has questions? Da, 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 da. Brett Wilson, I want to race too, buddy. I can't wait. Jake asks, how about slamming the brakes and huge spikes burning ESCs? Yeah, that's totally possible. I don't see the need for people to have their brakes turned all the way up and then all of a sudden stab them, because then your car just spins out and goes crazy and you can crash it. So um, I I don't know why people do that, but turn your brakes down. Um, just be smooth on the brakes. You usually have lots of shutdown area. There's no need to get that thing spinning and hitting the walls or whatever. You're hitting the curbs. Just gradually slow it down. Smooth on the brakes. Turn the brakes down. Um, you'll save yourself a lot of headache. So, setup for 17.5 truck. Well, we've got blinky setups in the profiles. Just go in and take a look at those and load one of those up, and you'll be ready to go. Jeremy, the only non-Apple in the house is the Kindle that we have to run Maclan software. Yep, yep. What What are you saying, Elliot? Now that Maclan has a stock specific motor, we've always had stock motors. Do you think, hold on, do you think we'll see them a lot more in stock racing and or larger handout races? I know the just stock is kind of the norm right now. Hold on, you guys, okay. No, we've always had stock motors. Um, we sell a lot of them, and they seem to do very well. And the new V3 motor is our best stock motor yet. So uh, hop on there and grab one of those. They're really, 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 really good. Fifth scale speed control. No, sorry, Steve. There's no plans for that in the near future. So that would probably be not something that's on our radar. Sorry. Renaming profiles. Yes, that is something that we are going to work on. We're going to have some updates as we go through developing this stuff, and we'll have some updates, and that's one of the updates that I'm pushing for, and we're going to work on, and being able to rename profiles and save profiles, hopefully, will be something that we're working on as well. So DRK 13.5 motor, I don't know. It has to be roar legal, or should be roar legal. I don't know exactly what the rules are going to be for 13.5. So until something is solidified as far as the motor rules for 13.5, you probably won't see anything DRK related for the 13.5 class. Rob, we've got 6 preloaded profiles in there with a bunch more that you can save yourself, program yourself, and save. But 6 preloaded ones that I've developed over the summer, and you can use them, and you can adjust the preloaded ones as well. So turbo position, Donnie, that's something that Felix Law came up with, and it's something they used in on-road that we've added for on-road, but what it is turbo timing normally only comes in at 100% throttle. It won't start adding timing until you hit 100% throttle. This allows you to adjust it to lower than 100% for when the timing starts. So we thought that maybe that is something that some people might be able to use with the drag racing. I haven't tried playing with it yet because I don't see the purpose of adding power before I get to 100% throttle anyway. But maybe it's something I'll play with. But it's in there, and you can start adding timing before you get to 100% throttle if it's something you think you need. What do I feel no prep drag racing has done for our sport of RC? I think the no prep is very accessible to a wide range of people. People newer to the hobby, experienced racers. It has opened the window for a wider range of people, and it's easy and cheaper to get into. Sorry, I shouldn't say cheaper. You can buy a ready to run car and go and run it out on your street. You don't need to go to a track. You don't have to wait for a track to open. It's accessible to a lot more people, and it's visible because we're doing it in parking lots and we're doing it out on the street and that sort of thing. So it's getting our hobby a lot more exposure, which is really good. So I think the no prep drag racing has been really, really good for the hobby over the last year or so, and hopefully it continues that way because it's a lot of fun and I love it. Sal, are we going to be using the DRK for regular racing? Well, I mean, we could probably develop some software to put it back to, um, you know, racing on carpet, turf, dirt, etc. But um, I don't see the point in it. The MX Pro is a very good platform for that. So um, the DRK is specifically for drag racing for now. Da, 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 da. V3 is awesome. Yeah, that's what I keep hearing, Anthony. I don't race much stock, but um, everything seems to be really good with that motor for now. Ryan Crowley, how's the development coming with the Wi-Fi? Well, I don't know how long ago you posted that, but we answered this already. It's coming along, and we're hoping by the end of December. We've had some setbacks, but we're getting there. Do we know what the 1 to 10 in turbo equals in regards to timing per number? Um, that is something that I will have to get and possibly send to you. I don't know it off the top of my head. Um, Maybe my producer can dig that up and I can send that to you later or something. All right, well, I guess my producer's already answering half these questions. So, spur and pinion recommended starting with a DR10 4.5 motor. 2284 is my recommended starting. You could go a tooth here or there to maybe fine tune, but that's my recommendation. 2284. No problem, Ryan. Why do I think the no prep scene took off stronger, better than the Traxxas Funny Car? I think these cars work better than the Traxxas Funny Car, and it's a wider variety of cars from multiple manufacturers. It's cars that people had laying on the shelf that they could turn into a no prep car, and I think it's just more appealing to more people than buying one specific car from one brand. Thank you, Jeremy and Oliver. Appreciate it. Would a Maclan 5.5 be a good starting point, or should I get the V3? Well, there's no V3 mod motors yet, Craig. So the Maclan 5.5 would be really good to get started. And once you get that car dialed in, you'll probably want to add a little more power. But it won't be slow with a 5.5, I promise you. Producer's on point. Is there going to be a Team Edition V3 motor? Well, that is something that I cannot answer at this point. The V3 motor now comes with the upgraded rotor in it already. And the design of the motor doesn't require the aluminum screws because they don't go all the way through anymore. So having a Team Edition, it pretty much is a Team Edition already right out of the box. So if we have a hotter version of it coming out, I can't say at this point. I really don't know. So, well, I think that's all of the questions. Anybody else? What's everybody else talking about? Oh, one more thing I wanted to mention. Take all of your radio tricks that you've been using for other speed controls for the no prep drag racing, turn them off, put them all back to the stock settings, even start a new profile on your radio so that's all wiped out. The speed control is designed to take care of all of that stuff for you. And if you run some of those tricks combined with the speed control, it probably will not perform the way it's intended to, and it possibly could lead to damage to some of the equipment if things start to get confused with different signals and stuff being sent. So please just run regular radio settings in your radio for when you're running the DRK speed control. Other than that, who am I going to see at King of the Streets? That's going to be a really fun race. We're there. We're a sponsor of the race, and we've got a contingency for the race. So if you win with our products, you can make some money, or make even more money. So, all right. Can I send a PM with Christmas gifts, especially stocking stuffers? I don't know what I could send through a PM that would enlighten anyone's day on Christmas morning, but I can try. All right. Well, I think if there's no more questions, we're just going to sign off from here, and I hope everybody learned a bunch about this new program that we've got going, the DRK Drag Race King program with the motors and speed controls, and we've got our contingency program, and I hope that people can use this information to make their cars go even faster. So thanks, guys. I'm calling from Maclan Racing, and I will see you around soon.